Welcome to another Creator Dive video where we talk personal development for the hustlers, movers, and shakers. I am Chris Haywood. I work in real estate and I also own a video production company. And today we're talking about ownership and 3 things you had to own if you really want to take it to the next level. This is something that I feel very passionate about, and I work with a lot of business owners. My investors are usually the type of people who really got their lives together. And even with my video company, I'm a lot of times working with entrepreneurs. And a common thread that I find in these successful people is they have a high level of ownership. So we're going to break that down today, and we're going to talk about 3 key areas of ownership that'll really unlock you and put you on the next level, man. If you haven't heard, I was listening to the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, who was a former Navy SEAL. And, you could use different words. You can use accountability, but it's something about using the word ownership that just feels a little bit different. Ownership, responsibility, accountability, really, they're very, very similar in nature. But I like ownership. I really like saying that because it has those 3 words in the front: own. And when you own something, it belongs to you. I wasn't really born in this life with extraordinary talent, skill, but one thing I feel like I've always had is the courage to own my situation. And Jocko Willink says essentially extreme ownership is, you are responsible for everything that happens in your world. And the reason why this is so powerful is because once you take ownership of something, then the results are up to you. And so that's scary in a sense, but that's also a power that comes with that. Because once you're responsible for something, and if it's it's up to you, then it's a matter of, okay, what actions am I going to take from here? Black Panther founder Huey P. Newton said that power is the ability to define phenomena and make others act upon that definition. Okay, so power is the ability to do. Okay, and when you own something, the next step to that is you're actually going to be empowered to actually make steps for that. The opposite of that, or the risk of not having ownership of your life, is you really are going to be going with the flow of whatever life gives you. Now, if you come from a great family, if you have a great support system, and you have everything that's really, a supportive spouse, maybe you can get through life like that. But honestly, a lot of people that I know, and a lot of people where I come from, the cards that we was dealt wasn't the most favorable. But that's okay, because if we can own our situation, we can turn that lemon into lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Let's kind of get into 3 things that you need to own in order to really get you to the next level. Each one of these are so important. But the first one is to own your focus. We have a limited spectrum of what we can focus on. And by focusing on the right things, we automatically take our focus off of other things. Okay, that just makes sense. So owning what you decide to focus on is going to really completely change what you got going on. If you focus on the wrong things and because where focus goes, energy follows. So you have to be willing to focus on the right things. And I like to tell people, focus on the things that are in the circle of your influence. And that means things that you can control, not things that are going on outside. To some degree, the politics, the things that, you can't control other people's actions. So, staying in your circle of influence is where your focus needs to be. What I put in my body, what I watch on TV, how I exercise. All these things, that's where your focus. If you put most of your energy towards things that you have no power in defining, then you're not going to be able to dictate the results of your life, because you're going to be waiting for something or someone outside of yourself to be able to do that. I'm so serious about this. As of late, I mean, y'all know I'm a man. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. And sometimes on the gram, it be some pictures on there, and I'm a man, y'all. I got eyes. But as of lately, y'all, I've been unfollowing that stuff, man. If I see a nice looking woman with some big old breastises and some big booty cheeks, you know what I mean? Like, that's not getting me where I want to go. That shit is a distraction. And so lately, I just been unfollowing stuff that really is not aligned with where I'm trying to go. I'm not even in a relationship, but I just feel like if I really sit back and I ask myself, is this consuming this gonna get me where I need to go? Is it gonna help me? And if it's not, I'm cutting it. The second thing that we need to own is our meaning we place on situations in life. This is a game changer, y'all. We have the ability to define things as we see fit. Okay, and that's where your power is. You have to own those things. And so what I mean by that is, there's a difference between the event and what happened and how we label that situation. And so, for example, growing up, my father was not around. My father, I did not meet my father till I was 27. Growing up, I labeled that as one of the worst things that ever happened. It was horrible situation. I felt like, I had missed out on so much and blah, 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 blah. But now as I got older, I'm able to see how really me not having that relationship helped me to be hungry and ambitious. It helped me to be a great father that I am today. And so now, whether I like that it happened or not, I'm able to assign a positive meaning to it so that I can be future focused and be productive, as opposed to being feeling like a victim of life. And as I've gotten older, I've come to realize, I used to think if you had two parents, your life was automatically great. And then when you get older, you meet people who had two parents and the dad may have been an alcoholic and the mom was on drugs. You know what I mean? So you put that against me. My mama working two jobs, doing everything she doing, an absent father. Which one would you rather have? Some people will rather be like, man, I'd rather have no dad and a great mom than the situation I had. It's all about perspective. And so owning things that happen to us, whether it's your fault or not, and you have to be able to assign things the proper meaning. So I study, the Meta Netter, which is an ancient, I study a lot of spiritual systems, but one thing I like about the Meta Netter, which is an ancient, African spiritual system, is it talks about, that the things that happen to you are neither for you or against you. They are only opportunities for you to obtain spiritual power. Okay. So I could be upset with my father for how he was absent. Okay. I can be mad and I can be angry and I can be bitter. But the truth of it is, or what I've decided to feel, and how I've decided to own the situation is, that's my only dad. That's my only father that I have. He's alive and he lives in the city that I live in now. So I've decided to still try to reach out to him and still have somewhat of a relationship with him, because that's growth for me, that I didn't be hateful to him, that I didn't feel angry, even though I could. You know what I mean? And so I own the meaning. I own how I'm going to label the situation. That's so important. If you are not labeling and owning things the right way, even if it's not your fault, you're gonna be a victim. And that's no way to live life. You don't want to be walking around feeling like life happened to you. I think it was Confucius that said the beginning of wisdom is calling things by their proper name. And that's some real shit, because you can label something and you can call it whatever you want. You know what I mean? You can wake up in the morning and you can be getting stuck in traffic, and you can be like, this is gonna be the worst fucking day. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to do, you have the power to do that. But you can also, because in that traffic, put on an audio book and listen to something and get some knowledge, or call your mom and check on her. You know what I mean? While you in that traffic, it's all about how you label this, and how you label it often relates to number one that we talked about, which was your focus. The first two things that we talked about were more so mental and intangible in nature: our focus and the meaning we assign on something. And those are important to own. But this third thing that we're talking about owning is physical in nature. And that is your actions, okay? Remember what we talked about in the beginning, your circle of influence, okay? And so once we focus on something, then after that, our actions that we take after that is what we gotta own. That's so important, y'all. We have to own what we do every single day. When I was when it was 2020 and I was going through all the stuff that I was going through with my company being shut down with the corona, and me deciding to get into real estate, it was really like a serious situation, because coming into real estate is commission only. And my backup was against the wall, my savings was low, and I knew I had to come in that real estate, and I had to hit the ground running. I knew that I had to make a sale relatively quickly. Otherwise, I was really going to be in trouble. But I believed in myself, and I took massive action, and I ran the play of what they said. And that's so important when you owning the day is going to be what I make it. It's really easy to do that when you're in a commission sales type position, because if you don't work, you don't eat. But if we could also take that same attitude with our health, with our families, that would also be such a plus. The things that I do with my daughter is a perfect example of this. I completely own the results that I get with my daughter and who and what she is. The reason why I am at the house that I live in right now is because I want to make sure that she was in a place that she can go to school, a good school, and be around families who are not in a poverty mindset. So I went and paid more for rent at a place so that I could be around it, because I'm owning the raising of my child, and I picked the school. And then once I picked the school, I owned that I had to make enough money to afford living where she is. And then I owned this summer teaching her multiplication tables. And I owned making sure she did her homework. And I own making sure that she knows that I love her, not because I do things for her, because I tell her and I explain what love is. So I take complete ownership through action of my relationship with my daughter. And I know it's up to me to do that. It's not up to anybody else. Okay? And I just focus on what I can control right now. And then I try to maximize on the things that I have control over. The little things like making her breakfast. The little things like doing her hair with her. The little things like walking to school with her. I own all those situations. And because of that, once you have a lot of ownership, then you get to get a lot of fulfillment and satisfaction with the results, because you're able to see the progress in things. You're able to see how that effort translated into success. So in summary, ownership is all about taking control, accountability of what's going on in your life. It's a important determiner of your life, and you have to be able to own your focus. You have to be able to own how you define things in your life. Don't let people define things for you. Okay? And you have to own your actions. If you are able to tie these things in, then you can really make some progress in your life. This is something that is a lifelong process. We're always going to have to be owning our focus, our meaning, and our actions. And there's never a time where we won't have to do that. But if we're, cognizant of how we are doing these things, then we can really live an empowered life. The people who are successful know if it's going to be, it's up to me. And if you're on a spiritual tip, then you know that that the Creator gave us the power as co-creators of our life. And that's kind of the reason why the moniker is create or die, because you have the power to create the life that you really, really want. All right, y'all. Well, that's enough for this video, man. Hope you're taking ownership in your life. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share this to somebody else, man. We'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.